So later, because of professional things, college and medical school and later residency, um, there wasn't a lot of picture taking. I did some here and there because it was enjoyable, but not with any major intent. Um, but then later, after taking pictures of kids for years and stuff like that, um, Bonnie and I discovered each other and um, found that we had a common interest and passion in photography. I continued at that point to take pictures of kids, but also started to do more of the artistic stuff, and eventually Bonnie got back into it as well.
I had a hiatus from photography because I had to work so hard to support myself and did everything from taking pictures for attorneys and bar mitzvahs and weddings and openings of fire stations. And so for me, what was an art when I was in college at RISD then became a means of support. So when I went on to pursue my career, photography became less of a outlet for me for passion, and it took a couple of years for me to be able to pick up my camera and just go out and shoot for relaxation and inspiration. Okay. We first became involved with the Wickford Art Association in around 2007. We entered our first show, and then after 3 shows, we were juried in as professional artist members, which was thrilling. We attended the weekly photo arts group on Tuesday nights, and it was wonderful because we connected with colleagues, but also made a huge network of friends who, to this day, all these years later, we are still excited when we get together and see each other. We go to different speakers. We've been involved in the poetry and photography books a couple of times, so it pushed really beyond our limits to just be seen as photographers, but we illustrated other people's poems, and both of us were published as poets, so that was really an exciting opportunity for us to push ourselves and push the limits.
I can't add much to that. but yeah, we did volunteer at the art festival for a number of years, taking pictures of the booths and the artists, and also covering for the artists in their booths when they needed to take a break. So that was a fun opportunity to get to meet a lot of people and do something helpful in the process.
We've been in special exhibits where Mark and I were both assigned 2 different food venues. And I did Fort Town Farms and Nevada Bakery, and Mark did a
Shades On Brewery and
a turkey farm
and Bologna Turkey Farm, and our pictures were published in the Rhode Island Food magazine. I don't have the title right, but something like that. So had a lot of good opportunities by being part of the Wickford Art Association.
And a lot of great connections.
So we actually like all kinds of photography. It's hard to categorize it. I think that the things that excite me in particular the most are street photography, abstract, architectural. I like lines and corners and angles and things like that. Those are the things that attract me. I don't know what you would say your favorite stuff is.
I think for me, it again goes back to very early times. It's people doing what they are doing without noticing me. We will also go to one particular place and we'll split up and say, I'll meet you back here in a half hour. And it's interesting how different our pictures are, but also
or sometimes the same.
They're sometimes the same, and we'll go back and forth and go, what time did you take that? I saw it or
Right.
Where did you see that? Because we're both in the same area, like we'll go up to Plymouth or something.
We'll both have a similar picture, and then we'll have to negotiate as to who's going to be the one to print that picture and put it in a show because we can't both do it. So those are some of the fun things that we get into. There is a very friendly competition. We inspire each other.
Absolutely.
Absolutely inspire each other. We help each other out with the editing.
What do you think of this, and would you use that, or is that too much?
Yeah, and there are times when Bonnie might get 3 pictures in a show and I might get none, or vice versa. And fortunately, it comes out fairly even. Otherwise, there could be some drama, but it does come out even. And
we're excited. We don't do it for this purpose, but it's very exciting and rewarding when we sell something, and so that's a really good feeling.
Right.
And we've been
when somebody
pretty even
who's
on
somebody who's a stranger, somebody who's not a friend or a family member wants to hang something of ours in their house, that's pretty cool. But we don't. Getting back to the kind of things we like to do, we don't do a lot of the kind of stuff that would be marketable, to most people. We don't do the lighthouse. I mean, we take pictures of lighthouses and flowers and pretty things, but it's not what excites us.
And a lot of street photography and street people, so people are not going to necessarily purchase someone's back walking down the street in an alley with their hands up, but it moves us. It really does.
I will admit, and I think it's fine that some people look at us and say, "What kind of camera do you use?" Right? And so, but for the past year or so, almost exclusively, we've been using our iPhones, and we find that the quality has gotten to a point where we can't tell the difference between that and our old cameras, and it gives us a spontaneity of always having our camera with us, because there's so many times we'll see something and grab a spontaneous picture, but if we didn't have our camera with it, we couldn't. So,
and it's less intrusive.
Less intrusive as well.
Than having our big telephoto lenses and a tripod, and people are aware. I like catching people at that moment before they realize that I'm there. But it's very exciting to both of us, especially when we'll split up. And I remember being somewhere and I took a picture that's won a lot of awards, The Salesman. Mark was down the street taking pictures of his mannequin Monica in a cemetery, and I just walked down and it's like, I got something, I really did. And we've had those
and you were right.
moments. I was right for that particular image. Taking away from our images, the point that makes us most happy and excited is when someone reacts to it. Says, that reminds me of my grandfather, or that was really fun, or how did you do that, or where was this, or what kind. I think the funny part is when people again say, what kind of camera is that, or was that an intentional movement? There was a picture that I did years ago. I had no clue how I did it. I think the camera was in my pocket, and I took a picture, and it was before the days of intentional camera movement. It was just a mistake, and it was a really great image. So just having
that's how you get some good abstract shots, just by accident.
I think what's joyful right now for us is taking pictures with our grandchildren, and just the joy of capturing those moments when they're looking into our hearts or eyes and smiling. So there are a lot more pictures, I think, of Mark interacting with the boys. We have 5 grandsons. Is just, I take pictures of him doing everything, and I'll have to say to Mark when I'm playing with the kids, it's a Kodak moment.
Yeah, I'm often just enjoying it and not thinking of my camera at that time, but
I want to save those.
But it's almost in some ways it's going full circle, taking pictures of kids again.
It is.
But they're not usually things we're going to show. The other thing I like, sort of goes along with what you said, is when we do have something up in a show, I like to hang back and see if people are looking at it, how much time they spend looking at our pictures, and that's kind of exciting to see people engaging with our work.
You know, we'll go to shows and I'll go, look, and somebody's standing and looking, but sometimes when they're salon style, when they're hung, it's like, are they looking up or are they looking down?
But that also ties in with something else we like to do, which is taking pictures of people in museums interacting
Absolutely.
with art. And so sometimes we can take pictures of them interacting with our art, and it's extra layer there.
I think as an artist, as a photographer, the most important skill that one could have is the intuition, the eye, the feeling. We don't crop a lot. We don't do post-production often. We just see the way it appears, basically.
Yeah, it's funny. We've been doing this so long that even without a camera in my hand, I sometimes see things in a 3x5 rectangular image in my brain, and I imagine subconsciously how I might take that picture. I think it's just important to develop a sense of composition and light. But I think at this point, for us, having done it so long, it's not something we do consciously. I think that we just, instinctually have a high percentage of pictures that we like.
Mark will joke because he's driving and I'm looking out the window sometimes, like, stop, I just saw this horse going to this big thing of hay. By the time we stop and turn around, the horse is gone. But oftentimes, I think back to the picture you took the other morning at the IHOP. I went to the bathroom, I didn't have my phone, and outside of the men's room and the ladies' room, there was a table and it said sanitation station. And there was
paper towels and
an air freshener. But I do want to say, as part of Wickford, I didn't mention this earlier, but what's pushed us also as artists was we took a class in watercolor, and that's not in our comfort zone. And this was a course for beginners. It was a one afternoon course, and neither one of us had ever painted before. And so we thought, we're here with a bunch of inexperienced artists, and people were very experienced. And we were sitting there, and in the center there was fruit and a vase and flowers, and our images of what we did were so different than everyone else, but we enjoyed it. We went out and bought watercolors and paper. And we've taken, little classes in rock painting, so it's pushing outside of our comfort zone. But photography is just natural. We just see it. And even when I was doing cameras with lenses and all kinds of apertures and speeds, it was just, I didn't think about it. We just did it. And Wickford's pushed us to explore other venues.
How can we see more of your work?
So we do have